welcome in to Blue Jays today, folks. We're the roller coaster of the Toronto Blue Jays in 2025. It keeps on rolling, guys. After a series where the Toronto Blue Jays did win, by the way, but won with a total of 4 runs over the Texas Rangers, one of the most boring series of baseball that I think I have ever watched. They went on to score 12 over the Oakland Athletics last night.
8 in 1 inning, and Ernie Clement single-handedly scoring more runs, driving in more runs than the entire Blue Jays team in that series.
Yeah, that was
in 1 inning.
5 RBIs in 1 inning of baseball. Like, I thought I was tripping, dude. Like, I was like,
I know.
I was watching, but then I was making dinner at the same time, and it's like, I turn away for a second.
Is that a highlight?
And I'm like, what the fuck? He's up again?
And doing it again, man. That was a crazy-ass game. And, like, I was just saying to Nick right before this, man, like, this has got to be one of the weirdest Blue Jay seasons I've witnessed so far. Every year, it's like you kind of know what they are. They're really good defensively. They're really good pitching. They got bad hitting. They got great hitting. This team has all of that and none of that. You know, like, some games they are the best offensive team to ever fucking play the game of baseball. And then the others, like we saw against the Rangers, they're just the worst. This is an entertaining year. I'm going to say it right now, and last night was a great example of it, bro.
Look, at the end of the day, you know, through all of this emotion, all this drama, they're 500, and that is like head and tails better than what we were watching last year, right?
Yeah, it is.
At the very least, the Toronto Blue Jays, we know, have the capability of hitting double-digit runs. Last year, I could promise you that just was never going to happen. It was not the case. This team, little bit different. Shout out to everybody that's joining us right now. Janushin saying, Santander can't get one a hit.
I know.
It's time. Look, Joe Siddle was there, and he was saying, it's like, he was in the booth, and he was saying, look, if Santander is healthy enough, then he needs to be in the lineup every single day. And whilst I agree with what his sentiment is saying right there, being like, Santander's your guy, you got to wait on him, you got to trust on him, all that shit. Like, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. The guy doesn't look healthy enough to me.
No.
And even if he is 100% healthy right now, he's like, what, 0 for like 19 or something?
Oh, God.
Like, it's not.
I know.
We are on a very bad stretch right now. I think, and you think, a little bit of an IL stint away from the team would do him wonders.
Listen, if he is not on the IL tomorrow, which I can almost bet my bank account that he won't be because the Blue Jays just refuse to put this guy on the frickin' IL. If he's not, I'm coming out with a video tomorrow. Y'all are welcome to join and watch because I'm going to be just ranting for like probably 8 to 10 minutes about how this guy needs to go on the IL. So if he's still not on the IL and he still sucks tonight, which probably will, because he didn't get a freaking hit yesterday. He got walked 2 walks
he did,
in that inning.
And I'll tell you what, like the second walk, I don't actually remember watching the second walk, but the first walk, I don't even know if he swung the bat once.
There you go.
I can't actually picture him swinging the bat. It was just, we had a wild pitcher there for Oakland.
Maybe Santander, this is a strategy, folks. Listen to this. Maybe the strategy is you just put Santander in there, be the threat, look real menacing, like he's going to hit it, then they'll just throw him all sliders, but he's actually not going to swing. You know, and then all the sliders going to miss low and in, right? Back foot sliders. And he's just going to be a threat. He's just going to get walked all the time.
Well, maybe that works. If that is the idea, then thank you for your sacrifice there, Santander. We appreciate what you're doing for the team.
And he doesn't take a single swing because he's actually doing another phantom IL, which is like, I'm just not going to play baseball. I'm going to stand in the box. I'm just resting right now. I'm actually not going to swing and get hurt.
He's actually been on the IL for like 10 days now.
Right. He's just standing there, but he's just resting.
That's true, you know? You're probably not going to re-injure yourself if you never swing or never run.
Don't take a big hack at all. Just stand there.
Fine, but, great game yesterday, everybody. They actually, kind of funny, they made history yesterday with yesterday's ball game.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. This is a tweet from Off the Stats. It is a very cherry-picked stat here, guys. So, like, you know, take this with as much of a grain of salt as you can. But in MLB history, there's only been 3 teams in a single calendar month that has been involved with a 12-plus run shutout. Wow. The Toronto Blue Jays are one of them, keeping in mind that we were one of the teams that were shut out. So we shut out twice, and then, you know, and scored over 12, and then also got shut out. The last team to do that was the Phillies in 1899. So
Against milkmen.
Yeah, again, nobody in the 1900s ever had a stretch, a calendar month like that. Like the Toronto Blue Jays have.
That's a great history tweet right there.
It just goes to show, you want to talk about a roller coaster. You want to talk about how weird this season is. There you go.
That captures everything right there, man. The Blue Jays are a freaking ride. I hope y'all are here for it. But yeah, yesterday's game, let's talk a little bit about that in a little bit, I guess, more detail. And just highlight some players. We just talked about Ernie. Like, Ernie has had some great moments, but my goodness, what a great moment that was for him getting 5 RBIs. Shout out to him. Also, Bo Bichette low-key cooking right now.
Back-to-back games with a home run?
Back-to-back games with a home run. His OPS is getting back up there. 750. The batting average isn't there like typical Bo Bichette, but he's starting to cook just a little bit. I think that's what we've been all kind of waiting for. He's low-key just been okay. People have been screaming to get him out of the top of the lineup. I just wholeheartedly disagree with you on that. Because this guy gets you hits.
Well, and listen, man, I mean, there are other fish to fry, right? We saw Anthony Santander batting second the other day. You want to talk about somebody leaving the top of the lineup? It's that guy. This is somebody who, at the very least, is still batting 277, and that's better than a lot of Toronto Blue Jay players right now. And you've seen the power stroke come alive in the last 2 games. One of them being like the clutchest moment of his season so far by a wide margin. Being able to win that series against Texas. So I mean, Bo Bichette is one of those dudes where you're kind of living and dying by him. I don't see a reality where this team even flirts with the idea of making playoffs if Bo Bichette is not there, if he isn't performing at a high level. So seeing him come to life and seeing that power stroke, especially just starting to wake up, is pretty massive.
We need it, man. We need the power stroke. And it was alive yesterday. You had George Springer get a home run. Obviously, Ernie Clement with the home run, Bo Bichette with the home run, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the home run, who's honestly, you made a tweet about this morning. He's been just great, getting on base every freaking game of this month.
So, and that's Vlatty's on base streak. I believe that it has continued at this point. Somebody correct me if it hasn't.
Yeah, I think so. I would imagine so.
I feel like we forgot about it yesterday because there's so many people doing crazy shit. Yeah. But the guy has just been living on base. And for those of you who are wondering what it is that he has been doing in May, I will tell you, he's batting .292 right now with an on-base percentage of .405, a slugging of .469, and an OPS of .874. Those numbers right there are a $500 million man numbers, right? That's where, when everything is said and done, I would like you to be living pretty much your entire tenure, your 14 years with the Jays. If you do that the entire time, you look at the contract and you go, okay, great, that is a W. And of course, it is also super reassuring to see that these numbers, they are backed up by the sabermetrics. The Baseball Savant page is just full of red right now. 98th percentile in expected batting average at 319. So you could even make the argument that he's getting unlucky there. And this one to me is probably the most important, is the fact that his expected slugging is at 527. We've been complaining about the fact that there is not a whole lot of power coming from Guerrero this year as opposed to years past. All of the sabermetrics are saying that it's still there. We just have to keep waiting, keep watching this guy go, and hopefully these numbers will just keep going up.
Yeah, and people keep complaining he hits a bunch of, all that power is going right into the dirt and killing worms. Okay, cool. Okay, he gets a single, he gets a double, all right, he makes a very competitive chance to get on base. What else? You're at, the fact that people complain about paying this guy $500 million and he's not hitting a home run every other game is actually it's out of this world to me. This guy's doing exactly what you're paying him to do. You're alluding to.
Yeah.
So who cares if he's hitting a 120 mile per hour ground ball that gets you a single or a 90 mile per hour off the bat that goes over the wall? You know what I mean? Whatever it is, Guerrero's producing and he's continuing to do it through the sabermetrics.
Well, for me, it's I'd be there with those people if the numbers weren't backing
if they weren't there.
It's right
but he's
now,
doing it.
In May, this is what the Toronto Blue Jays paid for, right? I can understand, a bit, slower start in April, all that, whatever, couldn't buy a home run for the longest period of time, had to get that monkey off his back. Now that May has come around, now that the season is going, we are seeing him start to heat up. I would anticipate, I would hope, assuming the guy stays healthy, those numbers should continue to be there for hopefully the rest of the season.
Remember last year he cut his hair in May, and then what happened? Dude freaking became the best player in baseball.
Short hair Vlatty was a demon. He was a demon.
He was an absolute demon, and he's maybe he's getting cooking right now, and we're just seeing the beginning of it through a massive 30-game or whatever it is on base streak. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now something I did want to bring up as well. This is actually a great tweet from Chris Black. Speaking of Vlad and Bo Bichette, just another reason right now for you guys to be back on both of their trains in the month of May. This is combined between the two of them, so I imagine he averaged it out between both of them. 22% chase rate. That's the lowest ever between the pair.
Crazy.
They got an incredible expected WOBA, the 4th highest ever, and then 24 barrels between the both of them. That's the most in a month since 2021.
Damn.
So the boys, I know their season-long numbers. You look at them, you go, okay, that's good, but I want to see more. Everything is indicating that at least for those two guys, more should be coming.
So with that being said, then more should be coming. Then only good things are about to come. Maybe this Blue Jays offense, we keep seeing those moments of we're getting really hot, we're getting really good. Maybe you see that more consistently in the dog days of summer.
You gotta
imagine, right?
You have to hope. It's tough to, because here's the thing, right? You look at all these numbers and you see these sabermetrics, and then you also watch what happened in Texas. And we can't forget about what happened in Texas, even though they dropped 12 runs on Oakland, right? And I get it. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, Texas's pitching's great. Is that what you're going to say?
I was going to say, because you said before the podcast was off camera, they're a product of their opponent, that they were playing to them because that was the number one pitching staff or number one starting rotation in all of baseball.
100%. Yeah. And that is definitely something to note, right? Texas is a lot harder to score runs off of, especially in Texas, than, scoring runs off of Oakland in Toronto, right? And there's definitely something to be said there. Oakland's pitching's terrible. Texas is very, very good. But obviously, 4 runs in a series is not a sustainable winning formula. So, I look at all these numbers and I am still hopeful. I still have the faith that we are going to see that come around. I do want to see them. I want to see them do this against a really good team when there isn't any type of caveat, right? Because we said, we did it to the Padres. Well, the caveat was the Padres were struggling. Yeah. They weren't very good at that moment in time. They were on a losing streak, right? So I would like to see them. I know that we're going to be playing Philadelphia in the next little bit. But that's that's a statement series, right? You kick Philadelphia's ass. I'm all the way bought back in.
Well, with that being said, I think it's even more important now. We're going to break down the series, of course, at the end of this video, like we do in every Blue Jays Today show. But I think it's more important now that you gotta do damage against the Athletics for the rest of the series, whether it be a 3-1 victory, series win, or an absolute sweep. You gotta get the wins right now.
I think if they don't end up with a 3-1 win, then this series is a complete failure.
Yeah, you can't split this series.
No, you can't.
Not at this point.
Look,
after
Oakland right now. Let me pull up let me just pull up the statistics right now, folks. Oakland is fucking terrible right now, especially when it comes to pitching, everybody, in this massive losing streak that they've had, and it has been major. Where the hell are they? That's right. They're not even. They're not. I was looking for Oakland. Under Oakland. They're aft now. Yeah, but you got the stats right.
Yeah. So Athletics in the last 15 days, you can clearly see the ERA, the team ERA. Is pretty horrendous. 6.67 ERA with a whip of 153. My goodness, opponent batting average of 286. So you have to capitalize right here because, again, we're kind of alluding to, you got the Phillies coming up, and I got to imagine that they've been, top 10 pitching staff. You're going to have to step up to the plate. However, they're also going to step up to the plate because look at the Toronto Blue Jays last 15.
Oh, I know.
We've been coming alive recently. But point being, you got to take advantage of those Athletics being one of the worst teams. I think they can. They showed a pretty good statement last night.
Yeah,
man.
exactly, right? And, that's something that I know that everybody's hyped up after yesterday's win, whatever. And I am also just as hyped up. You do have to just keep that in mind that this is a really bad pitching squad. However, still incredible to score 12 runs. Still incredible to get 8 runs in an inning, by the way. That was more. It's something crazy. More runs in that inning alone. In the second inning yesterday, more runs by the Toronto Blue Jays than their last 6 games combined.
Crazy. I know, it's crazy.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
I know.
Kind of scary, also exciting.
But it's also one of those things where it's you got to do that. You're not saying you got to score 8 runs an inning against the Athletics, but like, if you didn't score or blow out the Athletics when they're this horrendous, it's like, you know, your ass.
That might even be more telling. Than what we did.
And that's why this Blue Jays team is so hilarious. They are literally a 500 ball team until proven otherwise, until we face the Phillies, and maybe we beat those guys. But we destroy the bad teams. You know, we get smoked by the Rays, and we beat the Texas Rangers. We beat the Padres in the back. This team's crazy, man. It's a fun ride.
It is all over the map, guys. Let's give a quick shout out to one of the sponsors of this video.
Let's do it, guys. Amsterdam Brew House, guys. You know we're doing an event this coming Wednesday. Funny enough, looks like we're facing Zach Wheeler on Wednesday, so that should be quite the pitching matchup. But we're going to be there at Amsterdam Brew House, guys, 245 Queens Quay West. It's literally a 5-minute walk from the Rogers Center, so if you want to come down, if you're going to the game, swing by for like an hour, get some beers. 3-speed blondes are the dopest. Like, they're actually, we're actually on the course the other day with a guy who literally, I was bringing up a 3-speed. He's like, dude, like, that's like one of my favorite beers. Or you know, I'm like, hell yeah, of course, man. Come by. Tickets are in the description. They're free. They're literally, it's just an RSVP open table.
Yeah, you just got to show up.
Just show up, reserve your seat for about 5 o'clock, and then come drink some beers with us. We're literally just going to be watching the game, doing a live podcast, and we have a ton of merchandise giveaway, including this 500 Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Club, 500 Club t-shirt with Vlatty De Niro on the back. So show up, click the link, reserve your spot, let us know if you guys are coming, man.
It should be sweet. Speaking of those Phillies that we're going to be playing next Wednesday, Toronto Blue Jays, they decided to give a little, they sent a spy over, is what I'm looking at this as, right? They knew a big series is coming up. They're like, all right, we need some insider info right here. Let's put somebody behind enemy lines. Josh Walker heading over to the Philadelphia Phillies in a trade. This is kind of as big of a nothing burger as you can have. We got some cash considerations for Josh Walker, so that's something.
Dude, cash considerations has been grinding, man. He keeps going from organization to organization. He's really trying to find himself right now.
Yeah, no, he's working right there. But Josh Walker, for those of you who don't know, the guy had a 7.2 ERA and a 2 WHIP in 5 innings with the Toronto Blue Jays this year. So, yeah, dude wasn't doing a whole lot for us. Honestly, a little bit of cash. Good to see Toronto, like, actively looking around on the trade market, though, right now.
Yeah, I mean, they DFA'd this guy, and they had a window to trade him, and they traded him. And they got some cash. So, sweet. They had to get rid of somebody, and he was it. So, bye, Josh. Thanks for your service. We'll see you hopefully we'll see you in Philly, because if you're pitching in Philly, that means we're probably blowing you out.
Yeah, I actually really hope that we do end up seeing Josh Walker. Yeah. That'd be phenomenal. And yeah, just kind of the icing on the cake of a goodbye trade. Something cool right there. Now, before we move on and talk about some of the rest of this series and everything like that, we got to give a quick shout out to my guy, Alejandro Kirk.
Ooh.
We got the numbers up there right now. This dude's fucking awesome.
How could you not love Alejandro Kirk?
Well, I feel like every 2 weeks or so in the Blue Jays Today show, I'm like, let me check in on Kirky. I feel like Kirk's been doing good. Let's show him a little bit of love, because I see all the time on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, everything like that, not a lot of love for the captain, which is just truly insane, man. Obviously, I'm gonna overlook the incredible batting numbers right now, and we're gonna start with the catching, because everyone should already know by this point that this is one of the better defensive catchers in all of baseball. The numbers back it up. 94th percentile in everything other than the pop time. Doesn't matter the pop time, though, when you are catching people stealing, right? That's the biggest thing about the pop time, is can you catch people? He has been doing that. He's in the 94th percentile. So shout out to Alejandro Kirk for all of that phenomenal stuff right there. On top of the defense, though, and this is the numbers that people don't see, like the bat, it's there. It is there. This dude is almost batting 300 right now. He's got a batting average of 297.
It's crazy, dude. Look at the 100 plate appearances rolling expected WOBA. For those nerds out there, this is really good. You can see, literally his last 50 almost of plate appearances, he's just going absolutely nuclear. We were just looking at expected WOBA and WOBA for Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This dude is 417 expected WOBA For those who don't know what that means, that's like literally one of the best stats that you could possibly have. 417 WOBA? Are you kidding me? This guy's been quietly cooking in the middle of that lineup, and he doesn't get enough love. The numbers are starting to shape out. And I flashed over here, 2023, you know, a couple years after he had that like big, this was his all-star season, by the way. Look at that compared to here. And then when you look, it's basically almost the same. But when you look at 2023, like you see that is when he was starting to struggle. 2024, not the same. I mean, how much more do you want to see to, you know, to say that he's back? Like, he's back. Well, I can say that now.
And I honestly think like the biggest thing, and we heard about this too, is that Kirk is swinging harder.
Yes, he is.
He's swinging harder. He's swinging faster, right? And it's like he's always been a singles machine. And you know what? This season too, there's been a lot of singles. But they're hard hit baseballs right now. The guy's in the 94th percentile of hard hit rate. If you would have asked me that before the season, I, you know, like, or said like, oh, like how's Kirk gonna be in terms of hard hit rate? I never would have thought that. Like I never would have, never would have anticipated that
said mid
at all.
Yeah,
the dude is swinging it right now. He's got that torque. I just think that, you know, this guy needs to be shown all of the appreciation because he is worth every penny of that contract, and I will continue to hammer that point home.
Listen, he's my favorite cement wall. I love him. He's a cement wall behind the dish. He's a cement wall on the base paths.
You know what's actually
absolutely
kind
awesome.
of fucking nuts though is Alejandro Kirk is in the bottom second percentile in sprint speed.
Yeah.
Who's in the 1 percentile? Like, who's possibly slower?
Who's slower?
You know
well, I know Vogelbach. We had that debate a couple. He's not. Is Vogelbach still in the league? Is he on the Pirates?
I actually don't even know, man.
No, I think he's the hitting coach of the Pirates.
All I know, though, is like, and look, you guys know, I obviously love Alejandro Kirk. I'll have this guy's back forever. The dude can't run for shit.
No.
I'll be the first to admit that the guy cannot run at all. So I just want to know who is worse than this guy in terms of running.
I think we could probably find it. Someone find it in the chat and let us know. But yeah, like, listen, there's a trade-off when you're a cement wall.
Right.
You know, there's a couple trade-offs for being a cement wall behind the dish or a cement wall on the base path. So, Alejandro Kirk, shout out to you. You're awesome. One more shout out that we didn't get to in the whole 12-0 blowout is the fact that Lima Kina absolutely cooked yesterday. This guy, 7 innings he had of shutout ball? 6 innings, excuse me, of shutout ball, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Lima Kina doesn't strike out many people anymore.
Yeah.
He got 9 yesterday. He's been quietly rounding out those numbers too this season, just kind of doing Lima Kina things. Wanted to give him a little bit of an honorable mention because he got lost in the blowout yesterday.
Yeah, man. And I do think that there was an element of, you know, I know that they're not connected, but I do feel like there's some type of connection. Like when you're losing 8-0 after the second inning, offense kind of slowly like starts to fall asleep a little bit. However, that being said, Oakland's offense is actually one of the bright spots of their team. Yeah. They're ranked 10th in terms of OPS and 9th in terms of batting average. So that's an above average offense. So even though maybe they were mentally kind of checking out of the game, still some tough bats that he had to go up against and deal with for 6 innings straight.
Exactly, right? So shout out to him. It's no fluke. But with all that being said, folks, it's time to transition and talk about the next 3 games of this 4-game series against those Oakland Athletics because, you know, we still got to win some baseball games. I believe that's tomorrow's game. We got tonight's game. We got Chris Bassett up against Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey Springs, former Tampa Bay Ray.
He's got to be their best pitcher.
He is their best pitcher.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah, like he is. They traded for him. He's awesome. He's great. Blah blah blah. It's going to be a challenge because, you know, the Blue Jays are allergic to Rays, and this was a former Ray, and he's still, you know, he pitches like a Ray. So can the Blue Jays win this one? Let's do some score predictions. But before we do, also you guys let us know in the chat too your score predictions. But before we do, let's give a shout out to the sponsor of this Blue Jays Today show.
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now everyone, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody. Here are the lines for tonight's game. Blue Jays heavily favorited in this one. Big reason why is because, 1, we just kicked their ass 12-0.
Yes.
But 2, and more importantly, I think, it's the fact that Chris Bassett is on the bump for the Jays. He has been our best pitcher by a wide margin. And even though Jeffrey Springs has been decent for the Athletics, ultimately, just pound for pound, I take Chris Bassett 10 days out of 10. When we're looking at that matchup alone. So, Blue Jays definitely favored it. If you really believe in us, you can take -1.5. Although that you are risking some stuff at that point. But what do you think about this game?
I did actually, for the Betway fee clip, I did take Blue Jays -1.5. I felt like I was riding the wave. However, with that being said, my villain arc. You know what my villain arc's going to say? I'm picking the opposite of what I think is going to happen. So give me athletics +1.5. give me athletics +1.5 if I'm being,
God damn,
if I'm doing
man.
it. I have to do it. It's been working. It's been working. So.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of right.
Yeah, kind of been working. The problem is the problem with this though is that they will forever be 500 with this mentality.
Correct.
Because when they start playing good, you have to bet against them.
Right.
And then when they start playing bad, you have to bet for them.
Right.
And so, you know what I mean?
I'm always going to get the good odds, though, I think, of that, because everyone's going to think one way. I'm going to think the complete opposite. So,
okay. Well, all right. So Adam's just super bought in on the 500 mentality.
That's it, man.
Which is honestly super fair, right? Like, that has been the team majority of the time so far. I watched the game yesterday, and I saw a lineup that was really trying to prove something against a bad pitching team. Jeffrey Springs, he was a Ray. That was a while ago, though. He's an athletic now.
Yeah.
He's an athletic now. This is a different Jeffrey Springs. Okay, this is a guy that I think the Toronto Blue Jays can handle. I think that the Blue Jays are going to win and get one game above 500 again. It's been that constant battle. Are we below 2 games below 500? Are we 2 games above 500? Where are we? We are right at 500 right now. I believe that after this series, we will be at least 1 game above 500, and I think we'll be 1 game above 500 after tonight.
Yeah, I think we got a good chance to win, absolutely, with Chris Bassett on the mound, but I think we used up all of our runs yesterday. We didn't save any for today, and we're going to lose this one just by a little bit. We're going to lose it by... Give me a 3-2 victory for the Athletics. So,
all right. Well, we will be live for that game tonight, everybody, at 7 o'clock. So if you're not doing anything this Friday night, you want to watch some baseball with us, come tune in on YouTube, 7 p.m.
Let's go.
Be there.
Let's go.
Moving on to game number 2. This is on Saturday. They have Hoagland.
Hey!
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Gunnar Hoagland. Our former guy. We drafted him in the first round.
That is.
It was for Matt Chapman. We traded him for Matt Chapman.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that feels like a million years
wow.
ago. Okay, good trade. This guy stinks.
Yeah, he sucks. But we also got Thibodeau up for the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
nice TBD.
It's been TBD the whole time, eh?
Yeah.
Like, there's really no update on that.
This is the update right here. You got Ben Nicholson-Smith coming out saying, still, this is about 17 hours ago. Still, to be decided. It'll honestly depend on how the next 2 days unfold. So, obviously, we saw Brewers give you a lot of outings. Depending on how Bassett does tonight, I mean, maybe you see Eric Lauer again. Maybe you see, some combination. It's weird because he just pitched a few days ago. So, with that all being said, I will still pick the Blue Jays to win this one because, again, I'm picking the opposite. Even though Hoagland's bad, this is going to be a blow-up game, maybe. Honestly, not going to lie, though. The bullpen days for the Jays have been actually kind of good.
Dude, Eric Lauer might be the most underrated player on this team.
Yeah. But here's the thing, he pitched. What day was it that he pitched? Was it Wednesday? Did he pitch on Wednesday? So that's the thing. Is he going to pitch again? They might do some weird bullpen combination. Or we
just saw John Kay in here saying Gausman.
No, Gausman's going Sunday.
Yeah.
They made that announcement.
Okay, yeah. So Gausman Sunday. So, yeah, for Saturday. I don't fuck.
I'm going to, with that being said, because I don't know what's going on with the Jays, I'm saying they win.
Well, I think that, I think they're going to win this one, too, because I just think that when you're looking at a pitching staff as horrendous as Oakland in Toronto, I think this is the series where we all get hyped up on the offense. And then next week against Philly, we'll probably fall back to earth.
Right.
And, we end up scoring 5 in the whole series combined. But this weekend, we're going to think that we're the fucking Dodgers. So I'm going to take the Blue Jays in this one as well.
All right. And then last one is Kevin Gausman up against JP Sears. Gausman's been great. Ah, man. This sucks with this whole mentality.
Yeah, you're saying that we're going to lose to Sears.
I think we're going to lose to Sears. But I really don't. I really don't think we're going to lose to JP Sears with Kevin. No, okay. This is where I'm actually going to step out of my strat.
Right.
Step it out. And I'm going to say the Gausman Cooks. He's been absolutely on fire lately. He's got 2 shutout appearances back-to-back. He's gonna do it. Maybe not shutout, but he's gonna do very good. I think the Blue Jays are gonna win the final one. I'm stepping out. I'm sorry. Watch them lose this.
Well, look, I might say that we end up sweeping here, man, because like I'm just looking at all this, and for me, you know, if your whole thing is, oh, I'm going against my, you know, I'm thinking. What I was saying this morning is that I'm believing this Toronto Blue Jays team is a product of their opponent,
right?
And that is that, you know what, when we're up against the Rangers, who are, you know, really bad offensively and also really good, you know, on the pitching side of things, what happens? It's a low-scoring affair. We ended up clawing it out there, but I mean, it was pretty damn close, right? When we're up against the Rays, we're
just shit against the Rays.
Yeah, the Rays are a bit of a different animal. But you know, yesterday, like the Oakland Athletics, they can't pitch for shit. And I do believe that this is going to be a series where when it's all said and done, you're like, wow, the Toronto Blue Jays put up 30 runs in 4 games. How did they do that?
We get all that run differential back. How is that doing, by the way? Are we almost all the way, or negative 14?
Negative 14.
We're gonna get it back.
We might be at zero.
By the end,
yeah, like honestly, I think that there's a real chance just with the quality of opponent. So if we are truly a product of our opposition, being that 500 squad that's like better than bad, but not good enough to, you know, maybe beat Philly, right? Like that's what we're saying right now.
Yeah, probably get smoked.
I think that we're going to sweep the Oakland Athletics.
Wow.
I think that it's going to be, we're going to be
31
and 28 by the time the weekend is over, and we're going to feel amazing, and then probably we're going to be humbled a little bit, you know, next week when we do have to face Philadelphia.
I like it. I think we at least take the next 2 or 3, you know, and I think that's a great place to be.
And I would be happy with that.
Yeah, because even if you're 30 and 29, like, yes.
Okay, we're
great.
Chilling. We're right in the mix.
We're right
you know,
there.
We're still very much alive. Trade deadline's a thing. We will be buying everything. Yeah, looking over at the wild card stats right now, guys.
Look at that.
2 games back from the wild card. I know it's May 30th right now, so still months and months and months of baseball to be played, but we are not out of it. We are not in a hole. We're not like the Athletics, for instance, who are almost out of the race at this point. You know, it feels like your season's effectively done. So.
I feel bad for those A's. They were my wagon. They were they were off to a great start. And then
they got off hot, and then the pitching just like left them completely.
What happened? The lineup's still good, but
lineup's still good. But the ballpark, I think, is starting to become a factor. They were actually talking about that on the.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, you know, and playing in that ballpark, it's a very hitter friendly.
Oh yes, it's literally like, and it's hot. It's gonna get hotter too as the summer goes on. So that ballpark, the balls are gonna be
like
flying.
The California Coors Field, and you know they don't have good pitchers to begin with, so now they're just getting destroyed. So yeah, I do feel bad for them, but either way, not bad enough to lay up on them in this series.
No, I agree. Do we want to do any questions and answers right here?
Yeah, let's take a question or two, man.
Let's say
shout out to everybody that's currently still watching. 166 legends in here. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. Adam's gonna have a video coming out tomorrow, and we're gonna be live later this evening, following along with the game. I'm hoping for a game like yesterday, man. I was getting FOMO right now, like watching that second inning, being like, God damn it, like, why can't we be live for this game?
I know.
Right now.
And everyone's like, oh, you guys jinx the Jays every time you go live. And like, honestly, it's felt like that lately.
It has felt like that.
And that's why we're going to lose tonight.
No, we're not. No, it's going to be, look, I don't know if we're going to score 12-0 again, but I think we're going to put up at least 7. Mark my words. We're going to put up at least 7 runs this evening, tonight. Book it.
What's the final score, you think? Maybe like...
I don't know what the final score is, but I'm saying, I'm giving myself a line here, and I'm saying that it's going to be 7 or more from Toronto.
Maybe that's a good over then. Take the over. I think the over is 8.5.
Right.
I think I'd take the over. Take the over.
All right.
We got a question in here from Sam. Shout out to Sam, one of our YouTube members, saying, what do you guys think the record for the Jays are going to be at the trade deadline? Also, love the podcast. That's a heart, by the way. Adobe doesn't pick that up, the little square. Shout out to you, Sam. Well, honestly, y'all, this is, like we said, we're a 500 ball team. I think we're going to be like 2 games above 500. Whatever that is, whatever the numbers actually end up being. I feel like we'll be 2 games above 500 by the trade deadline.
So, listen, trade deadline is typically right at the end of the July.
I think it's the August 1st, I want to say.
Okay. So we'll say...
No, July 31st.
Yeah,
I remember.
Like, typically it's always like right around, end of July. So you got June, you got July, you got 2 months to go. Looking at their months in June and July, I'm just doing some quick math right here. You got Phillies, you got Twins, you got St. Louis, and then you got Phillies again. Then you got Arizona. That is a very tough stretch. That's a lot of competitive teams. Because St. Louis, I thought they were going to be garbage. They're no longer garbage.
No.
Minnesota, I think they're still doing well.
Yeah.
Phillies are maybe the best team in baseball. And Arizona is Arizona. So that's going to be a really, really tough stretch. Then you get the White Sox. Then you get Cleveland. Then you get Boston. So you kind of counteract it, right? You got a couple below average teams right there.
Sox in there,
so
yeah.
June, kind of a 500 month right there when you're considering everything. July looks marginally easier because you get New York Yankees to start. Angels are terrible. White Sox are terrible. Athletics are terrible.
Oh, wow.
That is a stretch before the All-Star break where you pick up like 9 wins. Seriously. Then you get the Giants. Then you get the Yankees again. Then you get Detroit.
Giants are really good this year.
Giants are pretty good this year. And then you finish with Baltimore. And that is every team that they play leading up to the trade deadline. I look at this, and honestly, when you're just looking at this right now, it's super easy for me to go, we're a 500 ball team. Because, I'm predicting I'm predicting a loss to the Phillies, I'm predicting a win to Cleveland, right?
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I am going to finish by saying that we are going to be, when the trade deadline rolls around, and this is the optimist in me right now, I'm going to say that the Toronto Blue, I don't know what the exact math would be there, how many games it is, but I'll say that the Toronto Blue Jays are 5 games above 500 at the trade deadline. I think that the numbers for Vlatty, the numbers for Bo, the numbers for Kirk, all of those things are reinforcing me with confidence that they are going to come around. I still believe in the pitching staff. We're going to get back Max Scherzer. We're going to get back Eric Swanson. I think that we're going to be 5 games above 500. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to be in a wild card spot at that moment. But like, if we're not in one, we're a game and a half back type thing. They'll be buying.
Yeah, like I think positionally wise on the standings, we'll kind of be in the exact same spot, like a game back, 2 games back from the wild card spot. I'm with you. I mean, we're a 500 ball team, and when you face good teams, you're supposed to lose. When you face bad teams, you're supposed to win. That's kind of it.
I'll tell you what, though, guys. The next, like after this series, and it is important that they pick up these wins, because after this series, it's going to be 3 games Phillies, 3 games Minnesota, 3 games St. Louis, then 3 games Philly.
Oh, then 3 games Diamondbacks.
Then 3 games.
Oh, Lord.
So that's a 15-game stretch of facing teams all with a better record than you, and all teams right now that have their eyes set on the playoffs. So that 15-game stretch, you cannot get yourself into a hole.
That's going to be tough, y'all.
500 in that 15-game stretch, and I think that we're chilling the rest of the way.
We are, absolutely. All right, we got one more question here from AJ Black. Talking about contracts, switching up a little bit, saying the Jays are in a weird spot as they have many expiring contracts, and I'm worried for their future. What do you think the plan of action will be at the end of the season? We'll switch up right here, not just talking about this season. Depends on how they do in parentheses. Also, where did you get your glasses? A little bonus question right there.
Actually, I don't even remember. Like, I know,
clearly contacts.
Mine is like a block that way, but I don't know what it's called.
I think it's clearly down on Queen Street. Shout out to Queen Street. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right in your parentheses right there. It depends on how they do. Like if they go on and they have a great season, they go to the playoffs. And Bo Bichette's kind of in a weird. It all depends on how Bo Bichette does too. It's all depending on performances. Because like if Bo Bichette's in a weird spot where he kind of is right now, like a mid 700 OPS, not going to get paid the way he wants to get paid, I think he might do like a 1-year prove it again type of deal or a player opt out or something like that, and tries to get better with the Jays. If he does great, I think he's gone. And then the other contracts, who are the other ones? It's like Bassett, right?
For me, I'm really not that concerned at all about the future of the Toronto Blue Jays because they locked up their future in Guerrero.
Correct.
Right? And I was concerned when he wasn't locked up because if Guerrero if he left and if he wasn't here anymore, then you could have actually made a strong argument as to why we need to fully enter a rebuild, enter a retool, sell everything. Now we're bottom 10 in payroll. Now we're, everything like that. That's not the case anymore. Now that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is locked up for as long as he is, he's going to be on the books next year. I genuinely think around a 500 ball team, maybe a couple games below, is like the floor of the Toronto Blue Jays while he's around, because I just think that they're always going to be consistently investing in the off seasons, in the next following year. Bo is leaving maybe, and Bassett's leaving maybe, but there's going to be another Bassett and another Bo, right? Because they are monetarily locked in.
Bo. There's never another Bo.
Arjun Namala, baby. Give me that guy.
But yeah, like you're right. Like they're always going to be paying. And that's the beautiful thing about the Vlatty signing. We kind of just brushed over it when it happened because we're in the middle of a season. But like Vlatty signing here long term, everyone complains it's $500 million, blah, blah, blah. No, that's investing in we're going to be a winning ball team for the next 14 years. Or at least we're going to try. Because we're always going to be a top 5 payroll with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
See, and I think actually, like, that was, for me, the most important thing. Yeah, like, having Vlatty here long term is great, and I like him. I'll be the first to admit that $500 million for the level of production that he provides is probably an overpay, but it's more important to me to have them financially involved. It's like, just imagine, for instance, you're playing a game of poker, or you make a big bet. You invest all of that. Let's just say you bought a home. All right, you bought a home for all the money that you have in the world, and you invested it into that home. That's your asset right now. You're gonna live in that home for the next 15 years at least. That's gonna be your thing. You're not gonna let that home go to shit. If the roof falls apart, what are you gonna do? Not repair the roof? Yeah, you're gonna fix the roof.
Yeah,
right. That you're gonna fix the roof. Like they are now monetarily bought in. If you didn't have a home and you were in a trailer park and your trailer got busted up, you might not give a shit.
And you're leaving and your license is due, or your lease is like ending in a month, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna be out of here anyways.
Right? Like they have committed to being fully involved in the off seasons and fully financially committed into spending money here, and that is alone why I'm not worried about the future, even though we don't necessarily know who the names are going to be or who the guys are, everything like that.
So that's why you got to subscribe to Blue Jays today, because we're going to be here for the next 14 years, everybody, watching.
The roof.
It's going to be crazy in 14 years when the Blue Jays are retiring Vlatty, and that's just going to be insane. But guys, that's today's Blue Jays Today show. Jays are a bit of a wagon, like Nick said as well. We're going to be live later tonight, so join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to watch the game, have some fun, and hopefully y'all can join us for that.
Yeah, please make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. $4 a month come a YouTube membership, and thank you to all of our great YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!